How has your own art practice influenced your teaching style?
One thing I lacked when I was learning art was I wasn't given any practical exposure or any imaginative exposure. I was given books.
Can you give us an overview of how this art curriculum is structured?
Honestly, we have done a revision a lot of time because it's ever learning phase. We made one that didn't work.
How do you handle children who say, I'm not good at art?
One thing I tell them, keep telling them is if you were good, you were not here. Go ahead.
Hello, welcome Ankita. So,
Hi.
so this is our first episode of Know Your Teachers, and here we have Ankita Agarwal with us. She will introduce herself, and then we'll start with the questions. So, Ankita, please go ahead.
Thank you, Joyce, for having me. So I'm Ankita, an art teacher at Saptora, and I've currently promoted as a program coordinator as well. I've been teaching art for like more than 4 to 5 years, and been with Saptora for like last 4 years. So it's an amazing journey so far.
Wow. So, Ankita, what inspired you to become an art teacher, especially for children?
Especially for children. Honestly, I never had this plan of art teacher. I was always into art, but never saw it as an art teacher because teacher, the title is a bit scary.
Yeah.
But again, I come from a joint family where I have kids of different age groups, and I am really have a very good bond with them. And when I saw this job position of art teacher for a kids, I think that just excited me that wow, I have to teach art to kids. It was just very random, but it's going really good so far.
That's amazing. I'm sure kids also enjoy learning
Oh,
from you since you have
yeah.
you know, it's
The best part is, because when you teach kids, they don't look for perfection. They
right.
are so open to experiment. Even if I say, do this blue, ma'am, can I do it pink? I'm like, yeah, please go on. But for adults, they are very focused onto perfection, so
Yeah,
much stress, and art should not be something that gives you stress at all.
yeah, it's
So, yeah, I
that
think that's the best part.
that is really nice to hear. I mean,
Uh,
into art, but not been the perfectionist kind.
is
So
it?
yeah, I'm
Oh.
sure that it's fun to know that children can come up with so many ideas, so much that they can also teach you at times.
Yeah, true. They do.
Okay, how has your own art practice influenced your teaching style?
So, one thing I lacked when I was learning art was I wasn't given any practical exposure or any imaginative exposure. I was given books, okay, you replicate this. I was given this, you replicate this. And I don't want when I'm teaching the same thing to happen with the kids. So I make sure even in our curriculum we have a lot of topics that goes around practicality. We have live drawing sessions, which what I missed, I don't want my students to miss in general.
Right.
So I do a lot of imaginative artworks. Even if we do a drawing, every drawing I think has a bit of piece where I tell them do an imaginary background. If I'm teaching a frog, then I'm like, okay, where do you want this frog to be? In your house, in a garden, in a pond. So you decide where do you want it to be. So I think that goes really well with the kids because even they like it that they're getting that ownership of adding a bit of their own instead of just copying. So I implement this all the time.
Oh, very nice to hear. What's your teaching philosophy when it comes to art education? Like, what do you
I,
follow? And
I think this is going to be again very similar to my second answer, which is do not copy. I mean, take inspirations, but do not copy. Come up with your ideas always. Experiment. Don't. I just keep telling kids, okay, this looks very general.
Hmm.
This looks very Pinteresty, very Google pictures. So the idea should be make random because it's not a maths rule that it has to be exact correct. There's no right, wrong in art. So I think this is what really works. I giving them the freedom to do whatever they want to. That worked really well.
Yeah, and sometimes people see that, I want to be better, or I want to compare, or I want to do this because it's being done and it's a form of art that I have to follow, or certain things that, holds them back because, oh, I'm not doing good. They're not confident enough to experiment, right? So this art is a space where you can just go all in, do whatever you want.
Yeah. Like, you won't believe, I have students for like 4 to 5 years of age group. They don't know how to write alphabets because they just been into kindergarten and stuff, but they know how to draw an apple. I mean, so fun it is yeah. From apple, we are extracting shapes of circle and square that they're learning. I'm like, get your water bottle. What shape do you see? So from the drawing, they're learning these academical things. It's so good. So it's nice.
It's nice. Better than being a book.
True that.
Can you give us an overview of how this art curriculum is structured across different levels at Saptora?
So honestly, we have done a revision a lot of time because it's ever learning phase. We made one that didn't work because the more and more you interact with different students, you understand the needs of the students. Especially when you're teaching NRI US kids, I don't know, for some reason, I mean, this is really good. They are really keen to learning Indian art form, which we didn't thought earlier. We thought, okay, we'll make it based on US standard and all that. But when we met kids, they want to learn Madhubani, Pichwai, different art forms of India. And then we started incorporating them. Now we have curriculum in each level. We have one Indian art form for sure, and one festival art. Because even if they are not in India, they do celebrate and they get super excited. Oh, we're gonna make Diwali art. Oh, we're gonna make Holi art. So we bring this US standard and Indian art forms mix of something, and we design the curriculum according to different age groups. That again comes with an experience. The more you teach, you feel, okay, this age group can learn this age group cannot. So yeah, it's like ever revising process.
So we do have like different levels for different age groups and different curriculums for different age groups accordingly, right?
Yeah, we have like 5 levels, just like in school. You can also say this is the USP of Saptora, that we have a very structured curriculum. Not like in random art classes you go, today we'll do this. But for us, we have a very structured curriculum. Like in school, you have grade 1, 2, 3. We have novice, beginners, intermediate, advanced, and expert. And the best part is you get certificate after completing each level. So you have that thing of achievement after completing each level.
Right. It motivates you to reach that level, right?
True.
Okay, so let's talk a little about the kids. How do you approach teaching different age groups? What changes between a 5-year-old and a 12-year-old student?
I think when I'm teaching a 5-year-old or 12-year-old, as I said, I come from a joint family. I have a different age group. So I think that's a privilege for me. I know the psychology of different age groups. I have siblings who are 5. I have siblings who are 12. Siblings who is of my age as well. So when it's 5 years old, we try to make it as playful as we can. We learn different drawings by tracing our palm. As I said, they don't care about perfection. They just want to play around with the colors. And one of the thing I've noticed is they want to talk a lot. Like, forget about drawing. Ma'am, this happened. Ma'am, I went to the birthday party. And when you talk to a 12-year-old, they are little on their own. They don't open up so easily. So it gets a little difficult there. But again, for them, art, they understand the value of perfection, concept. So when I'm teaching a 12-year-old kid, I'm focusing more on explaining them the concept, how they can implement it in a practical way and everything. So it's a bit of serious teaching, but for a 5-year, it's more like a playful.
Yeah.
I
mean, that comes as you grow old. you get more serious in life, you want to learn more
True.
depth, and you understand what's going on. But for the
Yeah,
kids,
even like a 12-year kid, I tell, how was your day? They are like, just, yeah, it was good. But for a 5-year, they'll keep on talking. I did this, I did this.
but that must be fun for you as well, right? To just hear them
True.
talk and hear them so
Exactly,
happy
it
about
is.
it. That's really nice. Okay, so how do you handle children who say, I'm not good at art or feel discouraged?
One thing I tell them, keep telling them, is if you were good, you were not here. You are here to learn.
Yeah,
And second thing I tell, art has never been perfect, wrong, right. It's not the subjects you learn in the school, okay, this answer is wrong.
yeah,
You made something different than the other student, you should be happy about it.
yeah.
You colored it pink, which was supposed to be blue. That's fine. That's your perspective. I just keep telling them, even if they are not discouraged, as you said, uh, I just keep putting this in their head. Okay, this is not wrong. This is not wrong. They're like, Mom, I made a mistake. I'm like, first say, stop saying that I made a mistake. It's not a mistake. Now tell me what happened.
Yeah,
So they need to understand there's no mistake or as such in art. That's the best part.
that's fine. Yeah, I've watched a lot of
Yeah.
your reels and the way you do art in your own on your own page. You
Ah.
made this lovely painting of a god, a big
No, Lord
Lord
Rama, you're
Rama.
talking
Yes,
about.
yes, yes.
Oh,
So you made so many mistakes in those. Yeah,
true.
color. You have explained the behind the scenes of how it what went, but you have rectified it, and it's turned out to be so amazing. So that's an
Thank you.
inspiration for people who are into art, that it can be rectified. There are solutions to every problem in art, and nothing is right and wrong in it. You just have to have a perspective and a positive attitude towards it. So that's really nice. And I'm sure kids also understand from you, because you share that with them, and that's what they are looking for, right?
True.
What are some memorable artworks students have made during festival art or food art sessions?
I'm not sure about food art, but festival art. So we also have for kids art and craft. So in a month or two, we have this craft sessions. So in Diwali, we made paper lanterns. And then they sent me a picture of actually putting it at their home, like whole decorative home with all fancy lights, and in between that handmade thing. It was so cute. And also we had organized once workshop for like organic handmade Ganesha sculptures, and so many kids were participated in this, and they actually made it with home wheat glue thing we make with
Oh,
putting haldi. That was a whole DIY thing, and so many of them sent the picture of putting it actually in their mandir during
oh,
the
wow.
puja. Yeah, they decorated it with the stones and everything, and they said it was so cute and wholesome, being the part of their festivities. It was so good.
That is that's so like such an achievement for both ends, on both ends. And of course, doing DIYs, it gives you also a time to spend with your family and do some things together. And then instead of purchasing it from outside, being more eco-friendly, that's really nice.
Yeah, and the best part was the parents were also involved in that. Like, if the kids were struggling, the parents were not like, okay, let them do. They were helping, okay, do like this, do like this. It was so good to see.
Okay, so let's now talk about how the class goes at Saptora. So can you
Okay.
walk us through a typical class or week in your art program?
So currently we offer them weekly once, an hour basically. During the demo, we have a first demo which is completely free, like a trial class. In that, we explain them everything. We discuss the class times and everything, and the class goes for like 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
First 5 minutes again, like icebreaker, talking how was your day and everything, checking the homework. The next 40 minutes is like the core teaching part, like teaching, and then last 5 minutes is again our USP of Saptura, that we provide them with the recorded lessons. So that last 5 minutes goes into recap, explaining, solving the doubts, and there's no hard and fast rule that it ends at 50 minutes. If the child has a doubt, we do extend it like 55 to an hour. So that's the flow.
Oh, lovely. So how many sessions do we have in a week?
It's a weekly once. If the parents request that the child wants more during a vacation or something, especially because they want the child to be keeping engaged,
Right.
I think then we have an option. I mean, the support team knows it better because the backend team handles all this. But we have an option where they can opt for more than once weekly class like that.
All right. Thank you, Ankita. What types of materials do you love introducing to kids and why?
To kids specifically, I'll tell you as a starter, like novice level, 5 to 6 years of age group and all. I think brush pens, not just mine, I think it's kids' favorite as well, because brush pens are just like so vibrant, because color pencils, crayons, they are not if until you don't buy from a very good brand, which students initially do not really have any idea about, they look little dull. But brush pens are so vibrant, and how it's different from sketch pens, as sketch pen still has a little thicker tip, but brush pens are like really smooth. It has a watercolor brush effect, but in a more easier way. So they love brush pens, I think. Yeah.
And like, do you have different tools for different levels? Like, do we advance with the tools also? Like, if suppose they are at a novice level or an intermediate level, and then they reach to an expert level, do we have anything different that we do with the materials that we use?
So again, this comes in the curriculum. In every level, we have decided 2 or 3 color mediums that we are going to explore. For students of older age group, they are very much into realism and stuff. So that's where we have to introduce charcoal, graphite, watercolors, acrylics. And for kids, it's a little difficult to handle. So we go for a little easier medium, which is a little safe. Brush pens, color pencils, crayons. So yeah, every level has 2 or 3 color medium that we focus on. And then we move to next color medium.
Oh, great. Very well explained, Ankita. Thank you. In your elements of art unit, which element do students usually connect with first? Line, shape, form, or value?
So we have this curriculum in intermediate level. I think there's this topic element of art where we introduce them, because after doing novice and beginners, I think they are mature enough or to understand these elements. But I think, of course, we start with lines, because lines are everywhere. I'm like, just see your room, forget everything, and tell me how many lines do you see. It's like the chair you're sitting has a line, the laptop you're seeing has a line. So I think lines are the most easiest to explain.
Oh,
like the base of all the artwork.
Fair enough. Like, you see lines. Everything has lines.
True.
What role do you think art plays in building confidence and emotional expression for children?
So this reminds me of a student who is like, ma'am, I have a very big flex in the class. I'm like, okay, what flex? I'm the best art student in my class, no. Because academic wise, a lot of students are good. No competition, and if you're one of them, it doesn't feel that good when you're into some extracurricular activity, not just art, be it any extracurricular activity you're good at. It's a different kind of flex. Apart from studies, I know this also. this kind of thing. And true. And it's like, I don't know, it's an escapism for me also as an artist from everything. I think the students also feels the same, and especially when they just play around with the colors, that shows a lot about themselves, what colors they are picking, if they're going with the vibrant colors, if they're going with like really dark colors. Some students have this thing, they want to play with all blues, yellows, all the pop colors, and some students likes black, brown. So it's also a reflection of their own individuality, that what kind of person they are. So I
Right.
think, yeah, it's a very good way of self expression.
Very well said. Actually, that is true. I mean, even if it shows up your mood at the moment, like if I had just a very bad day, so I just choose colors according to my mood also. I think that works, right? If I'm not wrong.
True, true, true,
Yeah.
true, of course.
And it's a way of an escape, right? True. So how can parents support their child's artistic growth at home?
I don't know I should say this or not, but I've seen a lot during the classes also. The parents, I don't know, they are parents, they're seeing it from their point of view, but they put a lot of pressure to the kids. Okay, this line is not good. I mean, I'm already there in the class. If I'm telling, okay, go on, go easy, I know it's parents, they are concerned, but if they also understand this idea of giving the students freedom, because parents have a standard, okay, that artwork was really pretty, I want my child to be that good. So they are seeing it from that point of view, but kids are not that mature. So if they just understand and go easy with the kids, okay, you're doing wrong, that's fine, next class you can do better. Or even as in home, like they can arrange a cute art date sort of thing with the kids, because
Right.
we were not like privileged or something, like we'll sit together with our parents and do art date sort of thing. But I have few parents who sends pictures and all that. Okay, we had a cute Sunday weekend where we sat and did paint, and it felt so good. I think more and more parents should do that.
That is that's a good way to for a family time, right? Like something.
True, true.
It's so amazing, Ankita. It was really lovely knowing your thoughts behind what you share, your talent, or the way you inspire the kids, and keep inspiring. Okay, so Ankita, before we wrap this up, can you just share any of your the artwork that you have made recently, or you can talk about it?
So currently I don't really have a lot of artworks right with me, but I have one in my table which I really like and I've kept it. I can show you that though.
Definitely.
Just give me a second. I'm not sure if you can see it or
Oh,
excuse
that
me for
is
the.
amazing.
Yeah, it just lightens my mood. It's so much of calming nature and everything. So I think this is something I really like to put it in my, you know,
That's
table.
really good, Ankita. That is amazing. It's so
Thank you so
feeling and
much.
everything. It's amazing.
Yeah. So
Tell us.
other than that, I have also done this. You saw that, and you were talking about. That's one of my favorite is that Ram Rath painting that I recently did. It was quite big painting. It was like 6 feet. Quite challenging, but had so much fun doing it. And I love playing around with intricate works. I think that's one of my art style. If I talk about, I love putting a lot of detailing. Even this peacock you saw, if I would go closer, it has all those textures and everything. And this one goddess Durga painting, this is again done on an acrylic, a canvas painted with acrylic, has a lot of details. Other than that, again, if you see this portrait I did with graphite art and charcoal mixed, again has a detailing. So I think one thing I need to, if I have to talk about my artwork, is like detailing. I love, love, love adding detailings.
Someday, like you can just showcase, and we'll have a masterclass with you for the children about how
Of course.
certain things, pros, tips, your tips, your Ankita tips. We can.
I would love to share some. Anyway, we do it in our regular classes, but yeah, somebody who has a busy schedule, we can arrange a workshops for them, like a quick way to go through it.
Definitely. What is coming up at Saptora, and you can just let us know where, how they can sign up for it, if anything interesting is happening at Saptora, and then we'll wrap this up finally.
Sure. I'll tell you about Saptura, not about art, because art we just had lots of workshops, graphite, watercolor, and stuffs. But we're coming up with such really interesting courses like AI, SAT, and I'm super excited for that. Like, oh my god, we will be having AI for 5 to 6 years of age group. Can you imagine? It's gonna be so much fun. And the best part is we have trials which is absolutely free. You don't have to pay for the trial. You come, see, have a demo. If you like it, go for it. So yeah, people should definitely check out. It's already there in our website though, so they can go for it.
Okay, so for our audiences, please check out our website and the new courses that are upcoming, and stay tuned for more such podcasts with our teachers. So thank you, Ankita, for being.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you. Bye bye.